You ever want to cook a brisket like the pros you see on YouTube with their big old beautiful yet expensive offset smokers, but you only have a cheap offset or just a thin steel cheap smoker? Well, today we're doing just that. A cheap offset to make this beautifully and perfectly cooked beef brisket, Texas style. Stay tuned. Learn how I made this beauty with a cheap smoker. Now, what we have here is a full packer brisket. We're gonna go down with salt, pepper, and Lowry's. That's all we're going down with. So, I'm gonna put my salt down first, and it's windy. It's a big chunk of meat, so it can really take the salt. But remember, we're gonna be using some Lowry's too, and it's seasoned salt. And I like to put the salt down. Then I like to go in with the pepper because, like I've said in other videos, this is like very fine granules. This is coarse, obviously, and so is your kosher salt. When you put them on, if you mix it all up, there's a chance that one's gonna be heavier than the other. Get the sides. Oh yeah, just like that. Like that. Then we'll go with the Lowry's. And because we didn't, see, if we would have went with the Lowry's first, it would cover up the surface to where the salt and the pepper is not gonna sit on it right. Make sense? Makes sense to me. So I'm gonna do the edges first. We'll go ahead and flip it over, do the same thing to the presentation side. Go in with the pepper. Now for the Lowry's. All right, so now I got a water pan in there. Put this brisket right here, point facing the firebox. Let's get to cooking, man. Temp's about where I need it to be. We're gonna cook this at about 250, 275, something like that, throughout the whole thing. Anyways, let's see how this goes, man. It's been a while since I've cooked brisket. It's been a while since I cooked brisket on the Chargriller. And like I said, this is a cheap, let me bring y'all over here. Real thin steel. I mean, she doesn't hold temp real good. You gotta work your butt off feeding this thing logs, and certain size logs. You can't just throw, logs in there and think that it's gonna go good, because that thing will get up to 500-600 degrees, man. Talk about some burnt meat. Hey, look, y'all stick with me. I'll bring y'all back. So it's been 4 hours. We are sitting at about 175 degrees, 173, right in front of the brisket. And this is our first look. It's getting a little dark on this end. I really hadn't done anything. I sprayed the edges one time. Bark has set. Everything is set on here. I'm spraying this with a little bit of apple cider vinegar and here. I really want to get these edges. Gonna maintain at 275. I was trying to maintain about 250 for about the first 3 hours. Now this is what you're gonna have when you have a cheaper made smoker. I mean, it's that thin steel. So what I mean by you have to work a lot more, the end result being, great, is you're not going to be able to keep it at a steady 275 for a long period of time. You might be able to keep it there for about 15-20 minutes, but for the most part, it's going to, like this whole cook so far, this whole 4 hours, I have seen from 250 all the way up to 305. So that's my area that I know I can keep it around, and I can keep it around 275, 280 a whole lot easier than I can keep it at 250. But I haven't cut up none of these logs either. I've used these logs just the way that they are. I haven't cut, normally I'll cut them in half and this and that, but it just makes me have to add more fuel, and I use a lot more than I really have to. So I'm pretty confident with this pit. I've been running it for a long time, so this is how we're gonna go. Right now we back up to 215 already. It'll get on back up there. I'm running with my fire door open just a tad. That vent is all the way open, and this vent's all the way open. So every now and then you just got to kind of play around with all of it, you know. I mean, even if you bought a $1,200 Brazos, Old Country Brazos, you're still gonna have to play around with it. You're not gonna be able to just put something in there and walk away. If you want to do that, you might as well go ahead and get you a pellet grill.
Say what?
I'm not going by temperature. I'm gonna wrap this mug when it gets to a color that I like. All right, man, I'll bring y'all back when it's time to wrap. All right, so we are 6.5 hours in. See if you can see that. Got us a good color. Just wanna, oh yeah, it's starting to get, the collagen's done broke down. It's starting to get sticky. My finger's starting to sink. Ever since about the 4 hour mark, I've been spritzing. But we got us a real good color. Let's get a temperature reading. I am at 170, 174 in the point. We're 172 in the flat. I'm gonna let it keep going probably for about another hour, at least to 180 degrees. Shut this down, continue cooking. I'll bring y'all back. Time to wrap. We'll wet this paper down real good. Set this here, like that. So we got the fat cap up. That's the way I want to go back in, this fat cap up. So I'm going to do this. Same thing over here. Just like that. Of course, the wind wants to start blowing as soon as I do this. Down. Fat caps up. Stuff this underneath, like that. So at this point, I'm losing daylight. So I have no choice. If I want to continue this video, I'm gonna have to put this in the oven, which it's not gonna be able to take any more smoke anyways because it's in paper. So put it in the oven and we'll let it push past the stall. I mean, the hard part's over with. This is the easy part, not rocket science. I actually gotta set it on this wire rack right here. It's gonna go in that oven, 300 degrees. Once it hits 205 degrees, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna let it sit on the counter until it gets to about 175 degrees. At that point, I will lower my oven's temperature to the lowest setting that it can go, which is 170 degrees, and I'm just gonna let it sit there until in the morning. And we'll just go from there, man. So I'll see y'all in the morning. Mañana. So it's about 9:15. I pulled her out the oven. She's sitting on the stove right now resting. I'm trying to get her down to about 170 degrees. We're at 181 now. I pulled it out the oven at 205 degrees was what it was showing on the point, and it was showing 203 degrees in the flat. But I got my oven set at 170. So once we get down to 170 degrees, I will put her in the oven for the rest of the night. After a quick overnight rest, 13 hours to be exact, we are now ready to unveil this package. Let it sit on the counter, cool off. We are now reading 145 exactly. Let's see what we got going on. Beautiful bark. Oh yeah, she got that jiggle factor. I'm going to cut this directly down the center. See what we got. Oh yeah. You see that? Are you kidding me? I mean, really? Look at that point. That's ridiculous. I want these burnt ends right here. Man, that's ridiculous. Holy crap. If I can do this, you can do this. Take this piece right here. Look at that. Nice little smoke ring. But, I mean, come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It don't get no better than that. If I can do it, you can do it. That's ridiculous. I couldn't be any more happy. Cheap offset cooker, there's no excuses. I don't care what kind of cooker you have, there's no excuses. You can still put out restaurant, if not better than restaurant quality brisket. Now, I'm not gonna say that this is better than something that's on the Texas Top 50 or anything like that. Anyways, that's it. Look, if you got any kind of benefits from this video, or if you just like the content, or hell, you just like this face, hit that like button on this video, please. It costs nothing. Hit the subscribe button, help me gain my subscribers up. It's hard to reach a broader audience. If y'all don't hit that like button, man, comment, subscribe, share. Hey, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Until next time, I'm Mike Bowman with Triple B's Barbecue. And look, burn rubber, not your meat. Get out there and cook something, you heard me? Peace. You know